What's going on, guys? Dkayed, and today we're going to another video. For today's video, we're back on some MasterDuel. Before we get to the rest of the video, here's a challenge song in the background. It is called Falling Endlessly by Jen. I haven't used Jen in a while, so make sure you guys go check it out. Link in the description below. The music is really dope. Alright, for this video, it's going to be a different type of video from my usual ones. I'm actually going to be talking about the MasterDuel ban list, and I just want to give my thoughts on the ban list. And I want to give my thoughts on MasterDuel and the state of MasterDuel. And I'm also going to be creating my own ban list. And I just also want to talk about how to make MasterDuel a lot better. Before we get into that though, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. And notice a lot of my views comes from non-subscribers. So you guys are new, make sure to click the bell and turn on all notifications. It really helps videos throughout the channel, man. I'm trying to grind. I'm trying a lot of different stuff on my channel, man. And I hope you guys have been enjoying the MasterDuel content. I plan to make more MasterDuel content in the future. So if you guys are enjoying the MasterDuel content, man, or make sure y'all subscribe, man. Also, make sure y'all check out my socials. You guys already know what to do with them. I have my animations pop up throughout the video, and they're all linked in the description below, especially my Twitch. That's where I play the most MasterDuel. I get a lot of content over there, so you guys want to follow the Twitch, man. It's linked in the description below as well, man. So you guys come through, watch me play some MasterDuel. I'm trying to grind a diamond, so you guys want to come through and, you know, support, man. That'd be really dope, man. But yeah, let's just jump into it. And yeah, we're gonna be using the MasterDuel meta website. So let's go. Let's jump into it. All right, here we are on the MasterDuel meta website. Shout out to the people who run this website, man. I'm not really sure exactly who runs this, but you know, they have the ban list here for us. So let's check this out, man. This leaked about 2 weeks ago, and it went into effect on August 31st. So let's jump into this ban list. So what they did was they banned Celestial. So they hit the DPE engine, which I think is really good because DPE was really a problem because you can play DPE in like every deck. So hitting Celestial and that draw 2 effect, which is can banish, I think it's Dasher and Celestial for a draw 2. If you don't have any cards in hand, it was so crazy. So I think hitting Celestial will hurt DPE a lot, but I still think DPE will be a problem. And also they hit a Fusion Destiny as well. They limited it to 1. So Fusion Destiny, instead of being a 2 of now, you either have to hard draw it or you have to make Verte to have DPE out. So I think DPE getting nerfed like this was really good for the game, really healthy. I think it's still going to be formidable in a lot of decks, a lot of competitive decks. So DPE is basically no more, but you know what I'm saying? I really think hitting Celestial and Fusion Destiny, I think hitting Fusion Destiny was the most important part about this whole engine. Celestial, it doesn't really matter. You can still make DPE with Verte. I think them not banning Verte was really like the whole mindset behind banning Celestial. IO and Vanity's Emptiness being banned is really good. I think Floodgates are just horrible for the game overall, which is very unhealthy. I think Skill Drain should be banned as well, but I feel like they just didn't want to nerf Eldritch as much, so I understand not banning Skill Drain. IO just literally locks you out of not using any, you can't use any spells, so really like you can't Duster, you can't, you know, Twin Twisters, can't do any of that. So I think banning IO and banning Vanity's Emptiness is really good. Vanity's Emptiness isn't as bad if you're able to destroy a card or send from a deck to the graveyard. I think it's easier to out Vanity's Emptiness than IO. That's why I didn't really mind and he's getting banned. They nerfed number 75, Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. So this is hitting the Rongo engine in Phantom Knights. Rongo is formidable. Basically, Rongo just locks you out of using like any cards, which this is horrible. I think that's really bad for the game. Rongo is basically a floodgate in itself. So I really think nerfing number 75 is really good. But I think you can still make Rongo if you're able to get the 5 warriors out. You can still use Rongo. So I think that would be even more impressive now if you summon Rongo and use it like that. But the number 75 hit is really good, man. And they finally nerfed VFD, so Virtual World. I think we won't see too many Virtual World players now, but VFD hit is really good, man. I just really don't like this card. It's really bad for the game, man. It just locks you into a certain attribute. So I think this is really bad for the game, man. VFD is horrible. You basically if your opponent summons it, you just lose, like hard out. Or if you're able to stall for 3 turns somehow, then you know what I'm saying, it's good. But yeah, VFD is horrible for the game. I think banning that was probably the best hit on this ban list so far, man. And let's keep it going, man. Prospe, we talked about Fusion Destiny, so let's talk about Prospe. I don't really understand the Pot of Prosperity hit here, but I mean, I guess this kind of hurts Flu and a lot of the cards, like the 1-card combo decks. I don't really like this Prospe hit though, to be honest. I really don't think it makes that much sense, but I guess more people are going to be running Duality now. I mean, Flu, yeah, Prospe is pretty much dead. I don't know what other decks use Prospe. Yeah, I really don't get this hit here, but I mean, the limit is limited now, so that's pretty cool, I guess. And Crossout Designator. With limiting Crossout Designator, this basically buffs Maxi. I know a lot of the YouTubers have been saying that Maxi has been getting buffed because of the Crossout Designator hit, which is I really don't like at all. I think not having that many outs to Maxi. I think if they're gonna hit a Crossout, they should have nerfed Maxi or a Bandit or something like that. But I mean, Crossout now, it's limited now, and I don't know how to feel about that. I think it's just going to be harder to play through hand traps and stuff like that. I know a lot of people have this opinion about call by and cross out being like unhealthy for the game, but I think for me personally, being able to stop especially if you have like you're playing rogue decks. I think being able to stop hand traps is really good in the moment. But you know, most competitive decks like Sword Soul and Despia and all that, I feel like running cross it on those decks is just like, but that's just me, I guess. That's just my opinion. Prank kids, I don't really know about prank kids too much, so I'm not really worried about this. I don't play prank kids. I don't really say prank. I really see prank kid decks a lot, so this hit's probably gonna affect them. And then multi-faker to 2. I played a couple people with Ultra guys. I think this is more of a floodgate deck too. I'm not exactly sure about this hit, if it's good or not. Gazelle, I'm watching a lot of Coder. He plays Solomon grades, so I don't know if that's good or not. And Tenki to 2, I think this was limited, or this was unlimited. So yeah, I think hitting Tri Brigade and Zoo and all that's really good, because those decks are pretty annoying. But yeah, that's pretty much the ban list. Let's talk about what I think should be banned now, and yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so we're back now with what I think should be banned in MasterDuel to keep this game a lot more healthier. Once again, I want to apologize for how different this video is. I know I don't really usually do sit down and talk commentaries like this, but I really just wanted to address MasterDuel to make it a better game. I think, in my opinion, for more casual players, more returning players, and for the people who are still do tournaments and stuff like that, and make people want to pick up this game and play it again. So I wrote down a whole bunch of cards that I think should be banned in this game, and also have a lot of cards that I think should be limited or semi-limited. So yeah, I guess let's just get into it, man. The first card I think should be banned in this game is Arch Nemesis Protos that's played in Sword Soul. I think that card is just very unhealthy for the game outright. I think it should just be banned. It's already banned in the TCG, and I really just think that card is just horrible for people who play against Sword Soul. It's basically, if you hard draw it, you have to have 3 attributes in the grave, and it basically just locks your opponent out of special summoning for a whole turn, which is just unhealthy. It's basically like a mini VFD, but it's a lot easier to summon, especially if your opponent goes full combo Sword Soul, normal Moye, reveal, special, Chi-Chow, add long one, make Baron, 3 in grave, you have like a tie, or you dump a worm or something like that. So it's just unhealthy. So yeah, Protos definitely needs to be banned. The next ban, I think Block Dragon needs to be banned, especially for rock decks, especially like Animancipator. I think Block Dragon is very unhealthy. It's a free special summon. I think it just should be banned, or limited at least. But yeah, it's just unlimited summons by banishing. So yeah, I think Block Dragon definitely needs to be banned. The next card I think that should be banned is Eva, of course, and Drytron. Eva is just OP, man. I think Eva just should be outright banned. It's free. I think it's a free +2. It's just I don't think Eva's healthy enough for this game, especially for people going against Drytron. And Drytron, you just have full combo. I think you just need 2 names to full combo with Drytron, which is crazy. And then Eva lets you add negates like Herald of the Orange Light. So yeah, Eva definitely needs to be banned. The next ban that I think should be in MasterDuel is Mecha Fanabeast Auroradon. I definitely think Auroradon is the most unhealthy card in this game. It basically just gives you a free +3 if you summon it off the Hulk. I think it's Hulk Despot 01, which I also think should be banned, but we'll get into that. Yeah, Auroradon definitely needs to be banned, man. It summons 3 Mecha Fanabeast tokens, and you tribute to summon O-Lion, and that lets you go into like rank 5 or rank 8, or just a lot of different plays. So yeah, Auroradon definitely needs to be banned, especially if we're gonna keep Halki Firebrax in this game. I don't think Halki Firebrax should be banned necessarily in this game, but we'll talk more about that. The next card I think should be banned is Galaxy Tomahawk. Yeah, that's another card that's like kind of like Auroradon that summons 2 level 6 tokens, which I think is very unhealthy, man. So I think Galaxy Tomahawk definitely needs to be banned. It's already banned in the TCG, and just in MasterDuel I think it's just very unhealthy. The next card that I think should be banned is Utopic Draco Future F-Zero. 2 Xyz monsters with the same level, overlay those into F-Zero, and F-Zero goes into Draco Future, which is a free Omni Negate. And I just think it's just very unhealthy. It's actually unoutable unless you tribute it. It can only be targeted by card effect. Can't be destroyed by battle. It can't be destroyed by card effects. And it's a free negate, which is insane. Yeah, and in full combo Lurlusk, it's like a 1-card combo to summon that. Basically, I think Bird Call lets you summon it off. If you go into 2 Lurlusk Xyz monsters, overlay them into F-Zero, and then go into Draco Future, it's just unplayable against, and I think it's just very unhealthy for the game that it's still, in the game. And it's not banned in the TCG either, but I think it just doesn't see much play, which is just, I think Utopic Draco Future is what I think should be banned. Next card I think should be banned is every barrier statue in this game, especially Stormwinds. Stormwinds and Flu is just very overpowered. It knocks your opponent out of special summoning for free, and you can just normal summon Robina. If you already have Eaglin in hand, then you add barrier statue, normal Eaglin, and then Eaglin tribute at end pen, and then normal barrier statue with end pen. Especially for Flu, I think it's a control deck, which is very just unhealthy for the game. And I don't really have any Flu hits necessarily on this list, but I just wanted to give my thoughts on the cards that I think should be banned, and barrier statue, every single one of them, all be banned outright. I just think lock your opponent out of special summoning. That's just bad for the game. The next ban I think should be on this list is Mist, Valley, Apex, Avian, which is not banned in TCG either. It's just an infinite negate. You can do it in Flu. You summon it and you can just like infinitely negate. Yeah, the Mist, Valley, Apex, Avian, I think is just an infinite negate. There's another card that has really good synergy with that you can just keep bouncing to your hand and back and summon special summoning, and it's just like an infinite negate, which I think is really bad for the game, man. Not being able to play through something like that is just really unhealthy for the game, and especially it's so easy to set up with a lot of cards like Samord and Full Power Flu. You can use that card as well, which is just really bad for the game in my opinion. Mist, Valley, Apex, Avian, and Samorg both need to be banned. You can use those in decks like Flu, and I think you can summon Samorg and Tri-Brigade, Zodiac. So yeah, I think both of those cards need to be banned. They're very unhealthy for the game, and I just don't think casual players would like to play against that. And by casual players, I mean like players that are willing to come back onto this game and play every day. You know, grind out the gems, and you know, people who just play for the gems and build their favorite decks, relive out all the nostalgia. So I don't think having an infinite negate like that that's easy to set up is healthy for the game at all. There's 6 cards that I think are questionable that I think should be banned. I'm not exactly sure if they require a ban or maybe a limit. I'm gonna just give you these cards and then we'll get into the limit section. So the first card I think is Union Carrier. I'm not exactly sure how to balance that card. I think it's banned in the TCG, but Union Carrier, I haven't really seen any problematic decks that use Union Carrier to set up a lot of these unhealthy playing game states. So I'm really not sure if Union Carrier should be banned. I know it equips a monster free from the deck. They could use that in, I don't know what decks Union Carrier is used in the most, but I don't think Union Carrier should be banned outright. But I have to play MasterDuel a lot more to see if Union Carrier is abused a lot, but I rarely see it when I play. Another card is Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, and I know a lot of Burning Abyss players use that, but people don't really play Burning Abyss because it's more of like a rogue deck, and basically you just make Zeus with it. So yeah, Beatrice, you dump any card from the deck to the graveyard, which is kind of like a foolish burial off rank 6s. So I'm not really sure if Beatrice should be banned. I'm not exactly sure how to balance Beatrice, but Beatrice is a questionable card that's kind of worthy for a ban, but I'm not exactly sure if it should be banned. The next card is Predaplan Verte Anaconda. I don't think Verte should be banned, especially now that they nerfed DPE. A lot of fusion decks don't really use Verte as much, especially like Despia. I rarely see people use Verte to fusion summon with that deck. So I don't think Verte outright should be banned, especially now that they nerfed DPE and they limited Fusion Destiny to 1. That's another questionable ban that could happen, and you know, I don't really use Verte personally, so I don't mind a Verte ban in my opinion. And the last card is Curious of the Lightsworn. I think it's a free mill, and then it dumps a monster to the graveyard. I'm not exactly sure if Curious should be banned as well. That's another questionable ban. Like I said, Curious is a really strong card. I'm not exactly sure what decks use it. I know they use it, they combo off with Chaos Ruler. Not exactly sure if Curious should be banned or not, but Curious is definitely one of those cards that I think should be looked at either for a ban or a limit or something like that. So yeah. So that's all the bans that I have currently off the top of my head. If you guys have any more bans that you guys think should be added to MasterDuel, let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear that. Also, I know I'm missing a lot of cards off this list, so if you guys want to comment down below again and let me know if there's any cards that you guys think are overpowered and definitely are unhealthy for this game, let me know in the comments down below. All right, now let's get into these limits, man. Okay, so there's a couple of cards that I think should be limited and semi-limited. So let's get right into it. All right, so the first card that I think should be limited is Maxi. I think it should either be limited or semi-limited, especially with Crossout Designator being limited to 1. I think Maxi being at 3 full power is like super crazy and just hits the consistency of Maxi. So Maxi definitely either should be limited or semi-limited in my opinion. And I think it'll be a lot more balanced for decks that don't run, you know, Crossout and stuff like that. All right, and the next card I think that should be semi-limited / limited in this MasterDuel meta right now is Mecha Fanabeast O-Line. I think that should be limited or either outright banned if Auroradon is not going to be touched. Mecha Fanabeast and Auroradon is interchangeably. I think one of them should be banned, preferably Auroradon. Mecha Fanabeast O-Line, you summon a level 3 token if it's sent to the graveyard. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure Mecha Fanabeast O-Line is healthy enough for this game, but being limited at 1 I think would hurt the consistency a lot. I don't think most people play more than 1. So I'm not exactly sure how that card is, what's the general consensus around that card, but I think, in my opinion, I think it should be limited. The only flu hit that I really think would make Floowandereeze a more bearable deck for more casual players is semi-limiting Robina. Robina is literally a 1-card combo. You normal Robina lets you either add Eaglin or add Barrier Statue, normal Eaglin. Eaglin adds M-Pen. On normal M-Pen, M-Pen adds the trap or adds the map or adds the tribute spell. So 1-card combo Robina definitely needs to either be semi-limited or, in my opinion, I think semi-limiting Robina is, you know, the best play. I think that would hurt the consistency of Flu a lot, make it a more bearable deck for or more people to play around. and play against. So yeah, the next limit I think should happen is Fairy Tale Snow. It's actually at 3 in Master Duel, but limited in the TCG, so I think limiting in Master Duel as well would be a really good hit to Fairy Tale Snow. Yeah, having 3 snow, I know it's harder to, you know, have 3 snow out on the field, but limiting it, I've seen people play with 2 snow on the field and they're able to dominate a lot of decks. So limiting snow in Master Duel is what I think is the most viable hit for nerfing snow. The next hit is should be Jet Synchron. You could play 3 in Master Duel. I think it should limit it to 1. Basically, I think if it's into the graveyard, you can put a card from your field to your hand or from your hand to the graveyard and special summon it. So it's a free special summon from the grave, kind of like a Plague Spreader Zombie. But I think it's just a lot more overpowered in a lot of decks that, you know, require tuners, especially decks like that use Chaos Ruler and Curious and all that stuff to mill and everything like that. So Jet Synchron is definitely one I think should be hit. I think it should be limited. I don't think it shall ever be banned, but I think that's one of those questionable ban cards in my opinion. All right, the next card should be Necroface. I think Necroface should be semi-limited, just taking away 1 more copy. But if you have all 3 Necrofaces in the graveyard and they banish off snow, then that's 15 cards for your opponent that you can't use, which is like half their deck, which is, I understand deck out decks are viable options in Yu-Gi-Oh, but Necroface being at full power in this, I don't think is really a problem card in my opinion, but just Necroface Snow combo, really good synergy. Your opponent having to mill 15 cards off the banish is crazy. So yeah, that's what I really think that should happen. Another card that I think should be semi-limited or limited is The Grass Looks Greener. I think it's banned in TCG. I think it should be limited in Master Duel. It's full power at 3 in Master Duel. So I think it should be at 1 or at 2. It just basically mills. If you're playing a 60 card deck and your opponent's playing a 40 card deck, it mills like 25 cards to the graveyard. So it's just a really good card. A lot of great decks that use Grass Looks Greener. So I think it should be semi-limited or it should be limited. I'm leaning towards the limit in my opinion. All right, another card I think should be semi-limited is Masquerade, the Blazing Dragon in Despia. Being at 3 is unfair in my opinion. 2 is enough. I think you can play through 2 Masquerades if that's all they summon. Most Despia decks don't get out 2 Masquerades. I think it's going to be more healthier for people who play against Despia. And most Despia decks only are able to summon 1, and then they use Dramaturge to, you know, be able to summon it again. Use Branded in Red, summon it again. So yeah, semi-limiting Masquerade, the Blazing Dragon. I think it's going to be a good hit to Despia. I think it's not at full power yet because of Mirror Jade not in the game. So semi-limiting Masquerade, the Blazing Dragon is 1 hit I'll have for Master Duel. And I had these questionable hits to Kaiser Coliseum and Dimensional Fissure. I was wondering if they should be banned or they should just be limited because you can have 3 of those in your deck. I think a limit for now would be good, but I'm still leaning towards the ban side for those cards because I really don't like Floodgates. I think Floodgates are really bad for this game, very unhealthy. But I feel like for decks that kind of need them, like Outlich and Altergeist, having those are good in my opinion. So Dark Law and the hero decks, it's any card that your opponent sends to the graveyard is banished, kind of like Shifter, but it's like on the field and has a 2400 body. I think Dark Law should be limited. That's a very questionable limit there. Most people don't play Dark Law, rarely see hero decks, but I think a limit there just to be healthy. Discourage people from playing decks that outright banish your card. These last 4 cards are reaching, but you have to hit the Adventure Engine somehow because it's just in every deck that I've played over the last month. But I think the Adventure Engine definitely needs to be hit. So I think limiting Adventure to 2 or 1 because of Rite of Amnesia, semi-limiting Faithful Adventure to 2 was a good hit, and then I think limiting Wandering Griffin Rider to 1 is a good hit for the Adventure Engine. Enchantress already at 2, Rite of Amnesia is already at 2, and then put Faithful Adventure at 2, and then have Griffin at 1. The Draco Backs at 3. Most people only play 1 Draco Back, but I think most people only play 1 Faithful Adventure, but I think still semi-limiting it is good in my opinion. And then limiting Griffin Rider, which is a negate, is good as well. So that's what I think would balance the Adventure Engine a lot better. Our last 3 hits that I have is Junk Speeder and Synchrons. 3+4 summons like 4 tuners. You can synchro them off into a lot of 8+ synchro monsters. So Speeder, I think limit to 1 is good. It's a 1-card combo. If you dump a level 2 in the grave, normal Junk Synchron, special synchro into 5 Junk Speeder summons 4 tuners from your deck. I think that's just very unhealthy in my opinion. So a limit to that. It does nerf Synchrons a lot, but I think Synchrons are formidable and they can play through a limit to Junk Speeder. Another card that I think should be limited is Harpy's Featherstorm in Thunderies and Harpy's deck. Harpy's Featherstorm, literally, if you control a being Beast Monster, it just outright negates any effect your opponent summons, and it's at 3 in this game. So I really think Harpy's Featherstorm should be limited in Master Duel. It hurts the consistency of drawing it, so it's a sacky one-off. Most people won't play it if it's limited. So having 3 of those in your deck, especially against Flu and Raid Raptors and all that, is just unhealthy in my opinion. And lastly, the last card I think should be semi-limited / limited is Farfa Patchwork. It's a free +2, add an engine and add a polymerization. This is very formidable in Farfa decks and also Despia. Hitting the main decks like Sword Soul, Despia, and Adventure Plus engine is really good for Master Duel. I think it'll create more variety. Obviously, you still want to have these decks to be competitive, but hitting the consistency of these decks is really good. But yeah, man, that's really all the cards that I have in mind that should be banned, limited, or semi-limited in Master Duel. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm really excited to hear y'all thoughts, man. So yeah, once again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. We're gonna do this little different Master Duel video. If you guys want more commentary on Master Duel or in Yu-Gi-Oh in general, let me know, man. I'd be happy to do that, man. Been trying to grind my channel, and I just really think making this video, giving my thoughts on how Master Duel is from a casual standpoint, from a player who doesn't play in tournaments, really loves Yu-Gi-Oh and wants to see this game succeed. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Once again, make sure I drop a like, subscribe if you're new, all that good stuff, man. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Guys, take care. Peace.